Me, these bloody parcels.
We're on air. Right. No cursing on air. Good morning, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and the wider internet. We're just getting ready in the background. John stopped cursing. Peter's got his background sorted out. And we have no sound problems this week.
Good.
Which is good. Right. Okay. We should be live now, but we'll let the clock run down. 15 seconds to go.
Oh, that's cold.
Good morning and welcome. Hello, Peter.
Guten Morgen. Wie geht es Ihnen?
Es geht mir gut, danke. Ja, alles gut. John, you've shrunk. Are you set up yet?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Right. Okay. Like the background, Peter. Looking good. Yeah.
I am
Okay.
going back to that place this year, I'll tell you.
Welcome to the show. Loving for Britain, episode 359. Wow. Okay. So
how much hours of that life been taken away?
Right. So you headed back to Berlin this year, Peter. You decided.
I had a business meeting yesterday with I call him the guru, right? And it's actually part of the business plan this year. It's an event and a recognition.
Yep.
And Sheila just says, I'm going to wait. Where do you... I says, you go where you want to go. I'll still go to Berlin myself for a weekend or something. Well, go on a business trip. And I just says, where do you want to go? She says, well, I think it was Croatia. I said,
right.
well, you book it and I'll just go with you. And I thought I was being very kind there, you know. And because I'm long overdue a holiday, that's for sure. And life, you know, it's a bit short, you know. I was 63 and it's hitting me hard.
Okay, Junior.
Yeah. So Blabbing for Britain, happy birthday, Peter.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah. All good. Yeah, we're going to Germany in June. I just need to renew my passport, then we can go.
What colour will it be?
I don't know. What colour are they these days? It's 10 years since...
Yeah, I think they're black or something. I got the new British one. United Kingdom one.
Yeah. Right, speaking of Germany, Germany made a decision this week to send tanks to the Ukraine, which meant that the Americans will be sending tanks too, because the two were tied together, so we're led to believe.
And the British will be sending?
Yeah. We were the first to state it publicly.
Now, this might be controversial.
Okay.
If we keep feeding this war, we'll never get around the table.
Good point.
Okay? Because I think it was Winston Churchill that said, is jaw is better than war, right?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of Republicans in America don't want to feed the beast. Did you know that?
Well, America, as far as it can be, is insular, isn't it? They don't want to get involved in wars outside the USA.
Yes. And because they were always told, oh, what's it got to do with America, the big bad bullies? Yet, watching politics and things in other countries, I've seen people in the streets going, where is America? Where is America? And they're saying, we're not the world's policemen. And the last president said, why are we paying more to NATO than the Europeans? Why? And he asked Angelica, do you remember this? And he said to
Alright.
Angelica, under whatever was round the table, you can see it on film, why are we paying more than you? Why aren't you paying more? And you know what the reply was?
Remind us, Peter.
Do you not know?
It's somewhere in the depths of my memory, possibly, but this is it's early in the day for me.
The Germans said, no one's ever asked us.
Right.
And
Okay.
they
Well,
promptly put their budget up. So if you're in sales, if you don't ask for the business, you will never get. Never. Hi, I sent you a quote last week. I was just wondering if you had time to look at the proposal, because I've got a very good deal at this precise moment. If you take it, we've got a wee bit off for you. When can you sign it?
right. I say good morning to Santosh and to Dan, who've liked our episode today.
Okay.
Yeah, the thing is, the end game. You're quite right, Peter. If more and more arms are shipped in, there can't be, from what I've heard, there can't be a definitive victory for either side at the moment.
No, I can't see it.
Yeah, they spent the winter months preparing for a spring offensive, because weather-wise they can't do anything at the moment.
Yeah.
So the both sides are planning for an offensive in the spring. Ukraine want to get the tanks before the spring. Americans said you can have the training before spring, but you won't get the tanks till later, because shipping these tanks over to Ukraine is a logistics exercise,
Do you know,
which has not been done since the Second World War.
Do you know who will be loving this? The manufacturers of tanks and weapons. And I say, oh, I wonder how our weapons are going to work out. Oh, that went wrong. Oh, I better take a note of that. And it's a great playground for them. But I think I'm becoming a pacifist. Never thought I'd ever say that, you know. There are hundreds and hundreds of troops on both sides dying every day as we sit here and drink our coffee, etc., etc. And it's a damn disgrace. It
But
really is.
I mean, it is a tank is designed to kill people.
Yeah.
So when a tank is delivered, people are going to get killed. We say good morning to Roland. We seem to be popular this morning.
Okay.
Roland, thank you for joining us. Yeah, there has to be at some point getting around the table and actually talking.
It's the only way it'll be resolved, and people will have to realise that someone may have to give up territory, or something like United Nations will have to come in and set up a buffer zone. Why is that not been mentioned?
Well, no, because it's a long border, isn't it? A long border from the east through to the west, through to Crimea. Yeah, there are problems, multiple problems.
National pride's a thing. National pride's a thing. People coming into your land and they say it's my land, and a lot of these people fight to the death. But I've got to say, there's both Russians and Ukrainian youngsters, because I was speaking to my friend yesterday. He's saying, he does filming and things, and he was telling me there's a 20-year-old Ukrainian there who came over, and he was saying to himself, why are you here? Because you weren't allowed to leave your country. All the youngsters, the 18 to 60s, had to stay. Why is he here? So they don't all agree with it. Some are doing runners. Anyway.
That's true. That's true of the Russians as well.
Yeah, Russian too. The only thing that may stop them in Russia, anyway, I would think, is people power. That may happen. People can only take so much, and then the war turns.
Yeah. Well, at the moment, the latest story is that the Russia is running out of medicines.
Right.
And their own production is 22% up, but they can't replace the medicines that are not being sold to them because of the embargo that's on at the moment. So the Russian people are suffering, as are the Ukrainian people. Yeah. I mean, when you look at what's happening in our country, then it's small by comparison. But let's just go over a moment to strikes. Who's on strike today?
Me.
Yeah, okay.
We have no idea. Who is it?
Teachers in Scotland, I think.
Yeah, it's today is just going over to the BBC to get the strikes have fallen off the front page.
Right.
I think yeah. I mean, if my memory may be faulty, but when we've had strike, when we've had
down in the around the UK, you have to scroll down to see strikes. It's about paramedics and nurses in Northern Ireland.
Right.
But that's the only story on the front page about strikes.
Well, basically, in the past, when there have been strikes, the news coverage has been heavy of interviewing people who are on strike, interviewing people who've been affected by the strike. I don't see much of that now. It's as if there's somebody somewhere that's put Peter's famous censorship and said, you're not to talk about that.
Or just acceptance that they're happening and they've just become another thing.
The best one I like to this strike, because when I see it from an employer's point of view, it's murder. But the best one, this whole workforce said to the guy that this was in years gone by, seemingly. The guy, and they're saying, we made you this business, blah, blah, blah. And if you don't give it this, he says, if you walk out of this premises, I will lock it up. And I'll never open it again. And he did.
Yeah.
And that's what Tata Steel done in Scotland. The unions are saying, we want this, we want that, we want this. And Tata says, we'll move it to India then. Bye. The union guys got kicked out and this is right, okay, let's negotiate. What can you do? You remember that?
Yeah. Anyway, Tata Steel brings us on to vehicles, motor vehicles. And production last year was lower than it's ever been since 1956. In 2019, we produced 2.9 million cars.
Yeah.
There are 20. Well, Alexa, how many licensed cars are there in the UK?
According to an Alexa Answers contributor, according to UK government statistics, at the end of 2019, there were 38.7 million licensed vehicles in Great Britain.
Alexa, stop. So 38 million cars on the road, and we only produced 776,000 last year, which shows the state of the economy, really, because people aren't buying new cars, are they, Peter?
No, I'm still thinking of buying a new diesel van. I'm